This is our third and last FRQ prep to do. I will also say that the FRQ exam will basically have 3 questions on it, 1, 2, 3, and I'll just tell you that they go monopoly, oligopoly, and then they go perfect competition. And so you're going to have basically one question about each of the 3 market structures that we really spent a great deal of time about. And you know, the perfect competition monopoly might be swapped. This might be the first one, that might be the second one, or whatever. The oligopoly question is going to be a game theory question. Now, none of the FRQ preps were game theories, but there are tons of them in the practice problems here, and there are lots of other good example problems around. So knowing how to do a game theory problem. But let's take a look at this problem. This one says, this is AP Economics question number 1. Corn is used as food and as an input in the production of ethanol, an alternative fuel. Assume corn is produced in a perfectly competitive market. So this is a good model for this type of question. So perfectly competitive market. Draw correctly labeled side-by-side graphs for the corn market and a corn farmer, and then show each of the following: price, quantity in the market, and profit maximizing quantity by the farmer earning 0 economic profit, labeled QF. So two side-by-side graphs for part A. Quantity and price. And we're going to start with the market. And over here, quantity and price, and this will be our farmer. And so we need downward sloping and an upward sloping supply curve. And it does tell us in that problem, label these QM in the market and PM. And then we're going to carry that price over and set a Mr. Darp. And then we need a marginal cost, which is the supply curve for the firm. And this is the demand curve for the firm. And we need an ATC because it's telling us they're earning 0 economic profit. ATC. So the quantity is at MR equals MC, QF. Okay, so it looks like we've gone ahead and labeled everything there. B, assume the demand for ethanol increases. On your graphs in part A, show what will happen in each of the following in the short run. The price and quantity of corn, labeled P and Q, and that says P star and Q star. This packet is just a little bit too light. And then the area of profit or loss earned by the farmer, shaded. So if the demand for ethanol increases, people want more ethanol, then that's going to increase the demand for corn, right? Because corn is used as an input in the production of ethanol. So if people want more ethanol, they're going to need more corn. So the demand for corn should rise. Okay? And it does say to label these as Q star, increase, and P star, increase. Now what does that do over here for the corn farmer? Well, MR1 equals demand 1 equals price 1. And our new profit and our new price and quantity are up here. That's our new price. The quantity that the farmer produces is here. So the quantity that farmer generates is larger. And we'd go down to the ATC to find the profit rectangle. And then we shade that in. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Let me focus just a bit. There we go. Hopefully that sees that a little bit better. So we can see that the quantity rose because the new MR equals MC is up here. Go down to the ATC and over to find the profit rectangle. So you can see that we're no longer at the minimum of ATC. We're no longer there. Now, relative to your answer in part B, state what will happen to the market equilibrium price and quantity of corn in the long run. So relative to B, right, in this B, what will happen in the long run? So the long run we know that the number of suppliers, farmers, will rise. So the number of farmers will rise, and it will shift to the right. That supply curve will shift to the right. And it will continue to shift to the right until it gets back to that original Mr. Darp. So that price, PM, right, PM, will be achieved here. That would be achieved here. But what about the quantity? Well, it's even larger because this is B, right? So this would be C. So from B to C, that's a larger quantity and a lower price. Okay, and that's because firms will enter. So we want to write that out here. C, price we'd say would be lower, quantity would be higher because firms enter, so supply increases. And that would happen in the long run. Now it says part D. Soybeans are produced in a perfectly competitive market. Assume farmers can either grow corn or soybeans. What happens to the price of soybeans in the next planting season if the price of corn increases? So this is kind of just a totally side question, right? This has nothing to do with the other things here, really. But it basically says, if you're a farmer, you can grow corn or soybeans. And what would happen if the price of corn goes up? Well, you're a farmer, you're going to plant more corn, right? And you're going to plant less soybeans. So what would happen to the price of soybeans? Well, price of soy would go up because, and this is kind of a thinking question here a little bit, because the supply of soybeans would go down. And the reason why that supply of soybeans would go down is people are switching over and growing corn. Okay. Part E. Assume instead that the government sets a binding price ceiling in the corn market. Okay. Draw a new correctly labeled graph for the corn market and show each of the following. So we can kind of draw here. Part E. Quantity, price, demand, supply. So this is just the market. And it says binding price ceiling labeled PC, quantity purchased labeled QP. So it doesn't really want us to have the original in here, but that's fine. If there is a price ceiling, it means that the price cannot go above a certain thing. So that would be set down here. That would be PC. That's the binding price ceiling. And how much is actually bought and sold? Well, this is how much is demanded. How much is supplied? Well, this amount. So that's how many are actually bought and sold. So that's we're going to put QP here, and now we're done. So this is all of 2017 question number 1. So that question is designed actually to take us about half an hour. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense how to approach this problem, and I wish you good luck in preparing for your exam. See you next time.